Good afternoon. We are ready for lesson 106 live. Just waiting for y'all to get on. It's a cloudy day today. Was really enjoying the sun yesterday. How about you guys? So we'll be working on dividing our fractions, part 2, as soon as some people get here. Hi, Lily and Abigail. How are you guys? I just got a question from my mommy coming in. Let me answer this really quick so she can get to our lesson this morning. Afternoon. It's already afternoon. Let's see. Go to the YouTube channel. Right? How else should I put that? I don't know. Hello, Chase. How are you all this morning? Lily, you need to ask her about number 6. Okay, let me get on the right page, and we shall do that today. Lesson 106, 102, 106, and number 6. Okay, so number 6 asks, which of these means how many 1/10 are there in 3? Okay, let's take a look. So, okay. Chase, you want 13, 14? Great. Okay, so let's go to number 13. We have 1/3 divided by 1/4. And this is from today's lesson where we learned how we've been doing it visually, and now we're using our keep it, change it, flip it. So we have 1/3, and we're dividing that by 1/4. Okay, so do you guys remember how to keep it? So we're going to keep this number, we're going to change this, and then we flip this to its reciprocal. Reciprocal. There we go. So we keep it. Keep 1/3. We're going to change our division to multiplication, and then the reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1 because we changed numerator and denominator. So now we have 4 up in our numerator and 1 down our denominator. Then we simply multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. But we can't leave it as our improper fraction. So if we take 4 divided by 3, 1 times 3 is 3, remainder of 1. We have one whole number, and then we have 1/3. So our answer would be 1 1/3. Okay. Nope, we're going to do 14 next, and then we're going to do 15. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. Very good, guys. Okay, so we're working on number 14 now. Number 14 is 1/4 divided by 1/3. 1/4 divided by 1/3. Okay, so we're going to keep it, change it, flip it, right? So we keep our 1/4. We change division to multiplication, and we get our reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3/1. Now we simply multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. And we're done because it's a regular fraction with no simplifying needed. And then we have number 15, which is 3 divided by 1/2. Yes, I did. 6 is over here. So, okay, so before we go to 15, we can talk again about 6. It asked us how many 1/10 are there in 3. So we figured out if we had 3 and we fit tenths in it. So that means 3 would be our initial division. We got 6 for an answer. My connection is unstable, guys. I'm sorry. It's freezing on you. Let me turn off my phone's Wi-Fi. That may help us. Oops, that's the wrong button. Okay. I turned off that Wi-Fi, so hopefully it'll help my computer Wi-Fi. Okay, are you guys back on yet? Wow, there's only 7 out on today. Okay, so yes, Chloe. 13 is keep it, change it, flip it. And you know that because, yeah, there's a 106 underneath it, which tells us it's from today's lesson. Okay, so do you guys have any more questions this morning or this afternoon? Oh my goodness, it's been a long morning. It's been a total Monday for me. How about you guys? Yeah. Same, or that it's frozen. Okay, any more questions today? Number 15, we just did. That was 3 divided by 1/2. Can you see that okay on there? It's lighter, isn't it? Should I get the darker side of the marker? 3 divided by 1/2. So we keep it at 3, change the division to multiply, and get the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2/1. Then we multiply 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1, which gives us the whole number 6. And then down here, there we go. I made 3 circles, divided them each in half, and we found out there was 6 of them. So we can do it mathematically, or we can figure out things visually still too. Okay. Landon, let's try not to be chatting too much. Ask math questions, okay? Do you guys have anything else? How'd you guys do on number 11 when you had the line segments and you needed to figure that out? Ooh, number 25? Sure, we can do 25. Can you guys see up here okay? Okay, let me see if I can get a more consistent, darker marker. Let's try this one. Okay, so we have 5, and then in parentheses, we have 2/3 times 1/2. Okay, so what part of the problem do we do first? Yeah, we need to do what's in the parentheses. Unstable yet again. Sorry, guys. The internet's been funny all morning. Oh, you might be connected again. Okay, so let's try number 9. Let's try, well, I have 1 piece of paper left. Yikes. Okay, so number 9 says, recall that multiples of a number are the numbers we say when counting by that number. The first 4 multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8. What are the first multiples of 3? So what it did tell us was when we have multiples, we times them by 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, and we keep going. And when we had 2, we had 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. So the multiples of 2 go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and it keeps going. And so the question's asking us, well, what are the multiples of 3? So if we start out with a 3, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, and that gets us to our first 4 numbers that are the multiples of 3. Um, 25. Yes, I did do number 25. That was right up here. Okay, so number 25, you need to do what was in the parentheses first. So you need to take 2/3 times 1/2. And 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So we ended up with 2 sixths. Then we take our 5 over 1 and multiply it by 2 sixths. And we got 10 sixths. And we skipped over here because there is more room because we ran into our circles. So when we have 10 over 6, we divide 10 by 6, and it went into there one time and gave us a remainder of 4 sixths. But we couldn't keep 4 sixths as 4 sixths, as we needed to reduce it or simplify it by 2, which gave us 2/3. And so then the answer was 6 2/3. Question, Chloe, about math test today. It says to write a document on Google Docs, right? About how last week went, right? And how you're doing with it. So then you'll write a paragraph in Google Docs, do it on top of or starting, you know how you already have your document in there about your research person, start it on top of it. I'll get those copies and put in a file pretty soon. That's what I get to do this afternoon. Exciting times, huh? Okay, so how's math going, guys? Any other math questions? Okay, so we have about 15 more minutes. If you have math questions, keep popping them up. History today, we're going to start our symbols of your state. Remember when you studied symbols last year of Idaho, you figured out that the state flower is the syringa, and you found out that the state tree is the white pine, the state gemstone is the star garnet. What else? The state fossil is the Hagerman horse, and stuff like that. So I'll come back to that in just a moment because now we have a math question. Number 7. Okay, so remind me to come back to our state symbols, all right? I'm just going to make a little note of it. State symbols. Okay, so for number 7, it asks us to write fractions equal to 1/4 and 1/5 that have denominators of 20. Okay, so we're going to rename 1/4 and 1/5 into fractions that have denominators of 20. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to multiply by the same digit for numerator and denominator to get this, and then we'll figure that out. So 4 times what equals 20? Yeah, you multiply it by 5. And remember, this needs to equal 1, so we'll put another 5 there. So 1 times 5 is 5. So we have 5/20ths as our first renamed fraction. And down here, we'll do the same thing. How did 5 become a 20? Well, yeah, you multiplied it by 4. And remember, this needs to be equal to 1, so we need to do both the same for numerator and denominator. So 1 times 4 is 4. So now we have like denominators and fractions that are renamed from our 1/4 and 1/5. And then I believe it asks us to add them. So we're going to take our 5/20ths, add our 4/20ths. 5 plus 4 is 9. It doesn't. You're right, it's 12. So now let's make these into fraction modes. And you guys remember in math land, of means multiply. So we have 2/3 of 12 over 1, because that's what we do with whole numbers, right? So 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. Now, you can either divide, or do you know how many 3's can go into 24? 8. So we have 8 eggs. Okay. Number, I have a pen to keeping things crazy over here. Number 5 says use digits to write the number 93,814,200. Okay, so if we're going to have 93 million, that means we're going to have, so here's our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, and 10 millions. Okay, so in the millions column, we have 93 million. So we'll write our 93 million there. And next, it says 814,000. So 814, and then the comma means 1,000. So 814,000. So far we have 93,814,000, and then it tells us 200. So we simply put the number 200 because there's no tens or ones. Okay. Okay, so number 8. A, what's 1 divided by 1/10? And B, 3 is divided by 1/10. And you notice under the 8, there's 106 for the chapter or the lesson. So that means we're using today's lesson of the keep it, change it, flip it. So A is 1 divided by 1/10. So we keep it, change it, flip it, right? But we need to put that in fraction form. So 1 over 1 is the same as having 1. All equals 1. Okay, so 10 times 1 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. And so we have a whole number when it's over 1, and that equals 10. B, we have 3 divided by 1/10. So we keep it, change it, flip it. Well, essentially, this is the whole number. Oops, can you see that? And then so we'll go 3 times 10 equals 30. Okay. How are we doing? Okay, we have about 5 minutes left. Oh, Annie, out of Robert's half, he then gave half of his to his sister. So here's Robert's, and here is, who's his sister? They didn't give us a sister name, so I guess we'll call her sister. Okay, so then it asks, what part did she get? We need a fraction first and then a percent. So here's her part. She got half of a half, right? What do you think? You can probably look at it and tell how much it is, but basically she got half of the half, which is a half times a half. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. She got 1/4 of the original candy bar that James had. And then 1/4, we could either figure out the math. 4 goes into 1. 2, 8, 2, bring down to 0, which would be 5, 0.25. That's the decimal number though. So as a percent, you would have gone to your 1/4 times 100 over 1 and got 100 over 4. And then 100 divided by 4 is our 25. So 1/4 is our fraction. 0.25 is decimal, but we don't need that today. But our percent would be 25%. So that would be your 2 answers for that. So that was number 2. 13 and 14 are the keep it, change it, flip it ones. So 13 is 1/3 divided by 1/4. You keep the 1/3. Oh, you can't see this, I'm sorry. You keep the 1/3. You change divide to multiply, and you get the reciprocal 4/1. So 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. Then you divide 4 by 3 because it's 4 divided by 3. It goes in 1 time, remainder 1. So our remainder is 1/3. And so go ahead and try number 14. You can also look back at the video if you would like, because we talked about it earlier on. So we have 2 minutes. Let's talk symbols. So you're going to either draw or print out approximately 4 by 6. And it can either go this way or this way. Oops. Either way is fine. And below them, there's going to be some sort of caption or writing about what it is. And then to keep it all together, you can like glue it onto a piece of construction paper, or if you had scrapbook paper you're working with that matches the colors patterns you've been using so far in your report. And so if we did the Hagerman horse, here's his fossils. Or something like that. And then we would say that the caption would be something like, you'd use his name. So the Hagerman horse is Idaho state fossil. It is found in, and I can't recall off the top of my head where it's found at, but that's how you would do it. So if over here I had the syringa flower, I either draw a flower that actually looks like that, not that flower. And then once again, I would, now remember you can draw that or print it off the internet. Either one's fine. Starting today, 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and 2 Thursday, you're going to be done. So that's my recommendation, to just get it done. So spring break, you can just relax and have a nice time. And then we'll get back to work come April 6th. Oh, it's 2 o'clock. Our time is done. Rewatch the video if you didn't get it, all the problems. I did a lot of them for you. And that's the explanation for our lovely fossil horse and our state flower too. It was great to communicate with you guys, and I'll hopefully get lesson 107. I sure need Dylan's help sometimes, but it was great. And bye. Miss you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.